Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to the third video of 2023 because I am currently pumping out videos at the moment. This is what me being organized looks like, but that is not what today's video is about, is it? No, today we'll be going through my entire Lightroom process and I'll be showing you how I turn these three pictures to look like they have not come out of a very modern mirrorless camera, but they've instead come out of a very vintage film camera. So how are we going to be doing this? Well, I'll be taking you through my entire Lightroom process from start to finish to the point where I would normally export, and then we'll be sending it over to a program called Dehancer. Now, what is Dehancer? Dehancer is a program that allows you to convert pictures that you've taken on your mirrorless or DSLR to make it look like it's come out of a film camera very accurately. It's probably one of the most accurate film look or film conversion programs I've seen on the market. So quick disclosure, Dehancer has provided me a copy of the software. They haven't given me any money, they haven't told me what to say, so everything that I'll be saying in this video will be coming from me. It won't be coming from third-party sources. So if you enjoy this and if you would like to give it a go, the link will be in the bio, and if you want to purchase it afterwards, then if you use the code BUTCHY10 at checkout, you will get an extra 10% off your purchase, which I think is money well invested, if I do say so myself. Anyway, let's jump into the computer and get this done. Alright, so these are the pictures that we're going to be editing today. We have this picture of a lovely couple who I shot their wedding for just recently, and we also have this picture of Dilly, which she was our model for the day in a video up on the top of the screen somewhere, and then we also have this photo of yours truly up in the Italian Dolomites. So we're going to be editing them all in Lightroom, and then we're going to be sending them over to Dehancer and turning them into something that's come out of a film camera. So we'll start with this one because we're on this picture already, and I've already cropped this to save a little bit of time. So we're just going to go and start with an S-curve, just give it a basic S-curve just to give it some more character, and then now we're just going to go and do some basic adjustments. Now from here we're going to do two masks on this one because we don't want to spend too long. We're going to go create a sky mask first. Now we're just going to pull back the highlights on the sky just to try and give it back some exposure, make it look like it's normal, not completely blown out. And then we're going to make a new mask, and we're going to do a sky mask again, but we are going to invert it. There we go. And from here we're just going to bring up the exposure, bring up the shadows like so. We bring down the blacks, and then we're going to do one more mask. Apologies, one more mask. We're just going to do a linear gradient just to there, and then we're going to go. So that's looking good. Now from here you can see everything's still looking quite nice. That's a little bit of snow. There must be some snow falling around. That's nice. Everyone likes a bit of snow, don't they? So from here we are going to we're going to go into Dehancer. So we're going to right click on this. We're going to say edit in, and then Dehancer Lightroom exe. So this comes up once you've installed Dehancer, and then you go edit a copy with Lightroom adjustments. So we're going to do that. Now from here it's going to come up just as a little screen, and it's going to show you all these options. It's going to give me a last edits option. So I have been playing with this app, and it's whatever I was editing with last. It's tried to make it like that, sort of to save time. So if you do want to just do a couple of quick changes, you can do that if you got your last edits, or the team have also got a bunch of these presets, so you can just tap through them, see which one you like. If you don't want to, that one's actually quite cool. If you don't particularly want to go and edit it all manually individually. So we're not going to do that. We're going to edit them all individually. So we're going to go up here to original. Click original. That is what it looks like without any adjustments. So we're going to start here. We're going to put some film compression on it first. We're just going to turn that right down to about 17. And then we are going to adjust the color density just a little bit, just like that. Now go down into this expand tab. So this is basically, like Lightroom is digital enhancement of the raw file, and then if you were to do it with an actual film camera, you'd have to develop it in a Lightroom. But this is like adding another Lightroom on top of the Lightroom that you've already done. So this is like the digital version of the Lightroom already. So it's a little bit confusing to explain it like that, but that's all I really had. So we're going to adjust the black point up to about an 18.75, negative 18.75. You can see it's already looking a little bit more film-like. It's looking a little bit more filmy. So we're just going to use that, because if we can zoom in, you can see it's already instantly looking a lot softer than it once did. So now we're going to go down here and we're going to go into print mode. This is what it would be printed on if you were going to put it onto some print paper. Which paper would you like it to look like? So you can see here, Coda Endura glossy paper, that's the default. And it's not too much of change. So if I switch it off, it's next to nothing. So that's just because that's the default, more or less. So you can just zoom in with the zoom wheel, you just zoom in and out like normal, or you can click this one up here, which is the 1:1. Gives you what it would look like in 1:1 mode. So you can go through, cycle which type of film you like. That actually looks quite nice. You can get this print film, again, that looks pretty cool. You can also go with that one. I think we're going to go with the Fujifilm, because that looks pretty cool. So we're just going to have a look at that. That definitely looks like it's come out of a Fujifilm and not out of a Sony A7 IV. So we're just going to adjust the whites here and see if you move them around, you can get more warmth or you can get more cool. So you can just adjust, play with what you feel like is the most appropriate to the picture that you're editing, more or less. We're going to go and adjust some things like exposure, just bring it a little bit up, contrast 4.17, and then color density. I'm just going to adjust that, just tiny adjustments. Now if you don't like what it looks like with the Fujifilm, you can just go through, click Cineon, like the log. That looks cool. Again, that looks cool to me. Or you can go to Kodak and you go that looks a bit too intense for my liking, so we're going to stay with the Fujifilm. Now you can also adjust the saturation. So if you wanted to make it look like it's a black and white camera, like something that's come out of before, like well before color came out, you can do that. Or you can just go a really unsaturated look, right like that. So it really is up to you. This app does allow for complete control over everything that you would possibly want to do when it comes to turning it into a film looking piece of software. Not software, photo. You know what I mean. I meant photo, I didn't mean software. So next we're going to go into the color head, and here you can adjust all your yellows, your blues, your greens, your magentas, your reds, etc. So we're just going to move it around just a tiny bit, give it a little bit of a tinge like that, and I think I like the blue there. I'm not going to, so if you go like that you can completely change it, which I don't like the look of at all, so we're not going to do that. And then from here we can also adjust the tones of your mids, your highlights. You can go through, change it all depending on what you feel like, and your shadows, so you can make them light or blue. I might go a little bit that way, to be honest. It looks quite cool. Now you can also go up here to preview and you can turn that off, and you can see just how much you've done and whether you've completely overdone it or not. And we haven't. We can see that it still looks pretty good, pretty normal. Zoom in. I look a bit stressed in this picture, I must say. I look a little bit stressed. Now we can go into the film grain. In the film grain we can go through and you can adjust the amount of grain. You can go completely ham and put a bucket load of film grain on and make it look like that. You can really, push it like something that came out of the world's first camera. You can make it look like that, but we don't want to do that. We just want to go just like that, and then maybe just to there. That looks nice and grainy. And then you can also do, this is another great thing about Dehancer, you can choose where you want the grain. So if you want the grain specifically in the shadows, you can have it just in the shadows. If you want to get rid of it in the midtones, rid of it in the highlights, just have the grain in the shadows, you can do that, which is really cool. But I'm not going to do that for this one. We're just going to keep it like it was because it looks quite nice. We're going to bring the size of the grain up to about 2. And then we're going to go here to halation, and this is where you just get a little bit of red tinging on the highlighted parts of the image, and you can see there is a lot of highlighted parts, so we're going to turn that on. And if you see here, you can also zoom in, you can see that there is, if you turn this off, see how it's all in the top just here, it's all normal blue. You turn it on, you get this little bit of a red tinge on it, and especially if you look at me, there's this red glow over everything. Now this is because in the film camera days that overexposure would create this red haze across the top of the photos, and it looks quite nice. It looks a little bit intense, so we're just going to turn that down a tiny bit, and I think that's going to look good right there. Now, next we're going to go into bloom. Now bloom's really going to be shown on the next couple of images, but we're just going to turn bloom on here. You can see it all just becomes a little bit soft. So if we turn it off, you can see everything just becomes soft. It's got this really white glow, but we're not going to use that because I don't like the look of it. It looks a bit too intense. And now that I've zoomed out, I can see that these clouds look very grainy. And I don't think I particularly want them to be too grainy, so we're just going to turn down the size of the grain and also the amount. That's looking much better. So now we're going to go into vignette. You can do your vignette later on in Lightroom if you really want to, but if you don't and you just want to get it all done in the one app, you can do it right there. You've got the vignette option right down in this entire tab. Now, once you're done, all you have to do is press OK in the top right hand corner, apply Dehancer, and that is going to turn this into a TIFF file. And then, as you see here, it has changed it into this completely looking film type of photo. Just like that. So now that we're done, we can export that. We'll go and put that in, and we'll move on to the other two pictures. Now, you've seen the process like this, how I've shown you, so I'm not going to go through and edit each individual photo in front of you because that's going to take up a lot of your time, a lot of my time. So I'm just going to edit them now, and then you'll see them at the end of all this. So 3, 2, 1. Alright, and we've come to the end of the video. I really hope that you enjoyed this and you got something out of it, because Dehancer, the more that I use it, the more that I delve into this program, the more that I realize how much you can actually do. It is the most accurate thing I've seen that converts a digital image to make it look like it's come out of a film without having to learn how to use a film camera, because let's be honest, they are a little bit difficult if you never ever grew up with them, which is my generation, unfortunately. So if you did enjoy this video, then do drop a like down below, and if you want to know anything more about Dehancer, or if you want to know anything about my editing process, leave a comment and I'll talk to you down there. Now, if you do want to use this product, use the code Butchie10 at checkout and you'll get 10% off your purchase, and you'll be personally helping me out along the way, because it's an excellent program and I wouldn't be endorsing this if I didn't truly believe that. So I'll leave you there. Have a great rest of your day, wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.